Well, good morning, everyone, and thank you to all of you for coming out today. And as your MPP, it is great to have the Premier and my great colleagues in Mississauga-Streetsville. Under the Premier's strong leadership, our government has taken meaningful action to support the residents of Peel in ways that matter to their everyday lives. We're investing $20.5 million in Peel Regional Police to give police officers the tools and resources they need to increase community policing, combat gun and gang violence, and keep our streets safe. I've also taken the time to do 4 ride-alongs with Peel Police to learn firsthand about the many different challenges that they face in our community each and every day. But there's always more to do. With the Premier and a caucus that's listening, we're here to support our police officers in the region of Peel and across the province. I'd now like to invite Chief Nishan Durayappa to the podium. Thank you.
Good morning, and thank you, Minister Tangri, for the greetings on a warm day. We welcome you to Peel Region and to Peel Regional Police Headquarters, for that matter. And on behalf of my deputy chiefs and our members, I want to very much thank Premier Doug Ford and Minister Michael Kerzner, Minister Tangri, Minister Sakaria, and all the Peel MPPs who are here, as well as Deputy Minister Mario Di Tommaso, for joining us this morning. I'd be remiss to not recognize our Peel Police Services Board members here, Regional Chair and Chair of the Board, Mr. Nando Yanika, and Mayor Patrick Brown. And of course, Councillor Carolyn Parrish for being here. You don't see them, but they're here. I'm surrounded by my colleagues from police leadership right across Ontario, specifically OACP, the Ontario Association of Chiefs of Police President Jim McSween, the Chief of York Regional Police, Chief Stephen Tanner of Halton Police, Chief Superintendent of the OPP Phillips, Deputy Chief Rob Johnson from Toronto Police, and Deputy Chief Dean Bertram from Durham Regional Police, as well as other law enforcement partners. My message is that auto theft has become a profound issue across this province and our country. In actuality, it has become such an issue that it is no longer just about the theft of a vehicle. We're talking about compromising public safety and the security of our citizens with this attack of organized crime that's having an impact on our community. In the last year, Peel Regional Police had the highest per capita of stolen vehicles in the province, losing about 20 vehicles a day. And that issue isn't exclusive just to Peel. The collective data between the Ontario Provincial Police, Toronto, York, Halton, Durham, Hamilton, Niagara, Ottawa, and Peel Police demonstrates an 86% increase in stolen autos since 2018. Canada is now a source country of stolen autos across this world. It is the 3rd largest revenue source for organized crime. Just last night here in Peel, we arrested 3 suspects responsible for multiple carjackings and recovered hundreds of thousands of dollars of stolen vehicles. The accused victimized innocent people who are going to carry this trauma with them, no doubt, throughout their life. Thankfully, we had officers from Peel and, of course, Chief McSween, thank you, from York, and our partner services who risked their safety to put an end to that incident. The investigation is continuing, and as we speak, we're issuing a media release and a video that we'll later send out today. When you see it, you'll understand why we aren't really talking about just auto theft, but the dangers of crime in our community. This is an alarming trend supporting a host of other crimes. It will not be tolerated, and our service will continue to support, participate, and lead enforcement efforts to hold those responsible and accountable for their actions. In Peel, we've expanded and increased our investment into our Commercial Auto Crimes Bureau, doubling it in its size in the last year, making it one of the largest auto crimes units in the province and in Canada. We'll continue to increase the size of this bureau and its capacity. We will arrest more people and prevent more auto thefts and recover more cars than we ever have. But having said that, we recognize that enforcement alone isn't the answer to solving this issue, and the support for advocacy in the community with industry stakeholders that are here today with us, community partners, and leadership to make the theft of vehicles more difficult and less attractive. In March, we hosted the first ever Auto Theft Summit and brought together the auto sector, insurance industry, advocacy associations, government officials, and law enforcement partners to facilitate conversations that would help to identify ways where we can work together to find solutions and tackle this problem in a multifaceted way. We're holding another summit in 2024, as well as hosting an Auto Theft International Investigation conference here, which continues the momentum to solving this issue. This isn't a crime bound by jurisdiction, and the solution isn't held by one individual sector. Premier, I want to thank you and the government for listening, taking action, and prioritizing this issue through the funding today and the commitment to other initiatives to combat auto crimes. This funding will support our service's ongoing efforts to enhance and strengthen investigative and enforcement capacities and our continued work with stakeholders. Again, thank you, Premier, Minister Kerzner, and everyone here who continue to be committed to addressing this important issue. And with that, it would be my pleasure to introduce Mayor of Brampton, Mayor Patrick Brown.
Well, thank you, Chief Nish. We've got an incredible Chief of Police in Peel Region. I want to, first of all, on behalf of the residents of Brampton, say thank you to Premier Ford. Anytime there's a resource issue identified by the police, the Premier is unequivocal and steps up and supports our frontline officers. And this is a challenge today. I get more complaints about auto thefts than any other issue. And you look at the numbers that Chief Nish articulated, that's almost one car stolen an hour. This is the third largest source of revenue for organized crime in Canada. All the nefarious activities that we see from organized crime is supported by auto theft. And I'm so pleased that this is on the provincial agenda. I know largely there are issues that need to be fixed to solve this, like CBSA, out of control of provincial domain. But to have the provincial government providing resources to do everything we can to make sure that Ontario, that Peel Region, that across urban Ontario, that it is inconvenient to commit these crimes. That's the goal. We want to make sure that this is the most inconvenient place to steal a car because the police have the resources to investigate what happened, track you down, and return that car. But I'm just grateful today that we have additional help on the way for the Peel Police to make sure that we can really do our best to tackle this crisis. So thank you, Premier, for your support once again of the Peel Police. And we hope that working with all levels of government, we're going to solve something that has really proliferated across the country. In some car categories, we see more cars stolen in Canada than the U.S., despite the fact that the U.S. is 10 times our size. So thank you, Premier. This is good news for the Peel Police and the region of Peel.
Good morning. I'm pleased to be here today, joined by my caucus colleagues and Premier Ford on a day where the people of Ontario have called for action to combat auto theft, and this government has delivered. It is no secret that public safety is amongst the highest priorities for this government. And in Ontario, we have diverse urban centres and swaths of rural communities that each require a tailored style of policing. And we are lucky to have many municipal and First Nations police services, as well as the Ontario Provincial Police, that work tirelessly every single day to keep us safe. It is a privilege for me to call our chiefs all across Ontario very early in the morning. But this government understands that we need to do our part to continue keeping Ontario safe. We have made unprecedented investments just this year alone. Our dedication to public safety can be seen through targeted investments we've made, such as our $112 million investment to help crack down on violent offenders by enhancing bail compliance programs, making basic constable training free of charge at the Ontario Police College so that we can have more boots on the ground. And I can assure you that I personally advocated with my federal, provincial, and territorial counterparts on the importance of combating auto theft and the level of seriousness that this issue has today. We're here today because some things have to matter, and public safety is one of them. Safe communities, above all, are critical to how we live our lives each day, so we can wake up our kids and see them off to school, so that we can go to work and we can shop and we can pray safely. Before I conclude, I want to leave you with one last thing. The time to act has never been more important than right now, because we believe in our province and in its future. We believe in the inherent right to live safely. It's my honor now to invite our Premier, the Honourable Doug Ford, to the podium, whose commitment to public safety is absolute and constant. Thank you.
Well, good morning, everyone. I'm so thrilled to be back here in beautiful city of Mississauga alongside Minister Kerzner, and I'll tell you, he's an amazing Solicitor General, and our amazing team from Peel Region, Minister Tangri, Minister Sarkari, MPPs Deepak Anand, Rudy Cazzetto, Natalia Kusendova, Hardeep Grewal, and Sharif Sabawe. I also want to acknowledge and welcome Mayor Patrick Brown. You know, you can't ask for a better partner than Mayor Patrick Brown. We talk frequently and we solve problems all the time. And Chair Nando's here, the chair of Peel. Thank you, Nando, for doing such a great job. Chief McSwain, Chief Tanner, Mark Baxter, Patrick Weaver, and everyone representing police services and police associations. I want to give a special shout out to all the frontline police officers. And a big thank you to Chief Nish and the Peel Region Police for hosting us today. It's always a privilege and an honor to be alongside our brave women and men in uniform. Without question, you are truly Ontario's finest, and thank you for all you do. As Mr. Kerzner said, our government is making the necessary investments to ensure that our police services have the tools and the resources they need to keep people and communities safe. We're adding more recruits at the Ontario Police College to get more boots on the ground in every part of the province. We're also graduating the largest class ever at the Ontario Police College. As we do, we're making targeted investments in public safety. This includes $112 million to support bail compliance and to get violent repeat offenders off our streets. $13 million this year alone to combat guns and gangs. Funding that will help stop illegal drugs from coming into our province and put gun traffickers behind bars. And friends, we're tackling auto theft head on. Earlier this year, we announced $51 million in new measures to help crack down on the rise of stolen vehicles. These measures include the creation of an organized crime towing and auto theft unit led by the OPP, and a first-of-its-kind prosecutor team dedicated to auto theft cases. The funding will also go towards the Preventing Auto Theft grant, which can be used by police services for extra tools, supports, and resources to fight auto theft in their communities. And today, we're here to announce that 21 police services across the province, including the ones represented here today, will be receiving a total of $18 million in PAT funding over the next 3 years. This includes $900,000 for Peel Regional Police to enhance their investigative and enforcement capabilities throughout Peel Regional Police Support Officer training and increase public awareness about auto theft prevention. This investment in Peel, the investments we're making across the province, will help our police services fight back against auto theft and put the criminals behind bars where they belong. It will curb the rise of insurance premiums, cut off financial support to organized crime networks, and help people feel safer in their homes and on the streets. Friends, we're doing everything we can to support our police services as we work together to tackle crime in our communities, from making investments in new technologies and innovative police initiatives, fighting guns and gangs, to bringing in reinforcements. We'll do whatever it takes to keep people safe in our communities. Thank you all for joining us. May God bless the men and women in uniform, and will God bless the people of Ontario. Thank you.
We'll now go to reporters' questions. Please identify yourselves by name and outlet. It'll be one question and one follow-up. First question.
Morning, Premier. Richard Southern from City News. How are you?
Good, Richard. How are you?
I'm all right. Being that it is Friday,
Yes.
I'm going to start on an alcohol-related question, if you don't
Sure,
mind.
not a problem.
You told me earlier this year you still intend on keeping your long-standing promise of bringing beer and wine to corner stores.
Yep.
To do that, you got to scrap the deal with the beer store. There's been reporting that that decision has been made. My question, Premier, is I know negotiations are ongoing,
Yep.
but can you tell us today, come 2025, will the beer store be no more?
Well, we're working alongside with the beer store. We're in negotiations, and we're going to keep our promise to make sure that we have convenience and selection across the province, like you see across the entire world. But we want to be fair, and we're going to be continuing to negotiate with the beer store, and they'll still play an important role in the whole system.
The Center for Mental Health and Addiction has spoken out against this plan of yours. I mean, they point at other jurisdictions in Canada that have done this, and they say it's led to a lot more alcohol-related deaths, a lot more trouble. Premier, does that give you pause?
No, not at all. You know, I respect the work they do, and they do really good work. But listen, we're the only jurisdiction in the entire world that you can't go into the retail store and buy a case of beer or a bottle of wine when you're buying a steak for a dinner or whatever you're buying. It just doesn't make sense, so we're moving forward with this.
Hi, Premier. Lorenda Redicop with CBC.
Hi, Lorenda.
Hi. We're now hearing that Stellantis will have up to 900 foreign workers at its EV battery plant. This is a plant that Ontario taxpayers contributed $5 billion to. I know that your ministers have pointed to the federal government's responsibility, but your government also put up a lot of money
Sure.
and signed the contract. So was there no language there protecting, ensuring that it would be Canadian workers?
Well, there will be Canadian workers. They promised 2,500 Canadian workers. They're going to deliver 2,500 Canadian workers. But when you're building a battery plant, first of its kind, the technology, they understand the technology. They're only coming here part-time. They're going to set up the plant. They're going to do the training, and then they're going to go back. It's no different than someone buying a press. You have people over to set it up, train it, and then move forward. But that's gonna have spin-off jobs of 7 to 1, 8 to 1. It's going to create over 10,000 spin-off jobs, and it's great for the people of Windsor and southwestern Ontario, and we're quite excited about it.
We're in Mississauga, Bonnie Crombie's neck of the woods, and this weekend, Liberals will start voting to elect their next leader. Out of the candidates running, we've only ever heard you talk about her. Are you scared at the prospect of Bonnie Crombie as Liberal leader?
No, that's was that a joke or no? But anyways, you say you're in Bonnie Crombie's neighborhood. I call it, PC neighborhood because we have every single seat in Peel region, right up from Caledon over to Brampton over to Mississauga. So anyways, I say bring it on.
Hi, Premier. Siobhan Morris from CTV
Hi, Siobhan.
News. On the beer store and how would it change the complexion of the LCBO? Are you comfortable with letting go of that big tax revenue if you're putting alcohol available for places like corner stores, like other places maybe I haven't imagined yet?
No, we're still going to see the revenues, tax revenues, but all we want to do is make it convenient for people and have a broader selection right across the board. We will be continuing to work with the beer store owned by 3 international companies, which I have no problem with, but here nor there, we're going to make sure we have convenience for the people of Ontario, just like the rest of the world does.
And the Canadian Muslim Affairs Council are calling on you to remove Goldie Gamari from your caucus. They take issue with some of the things she's been saying online, saying that she's perpetuating anti-Islamic hate, that she is equating Muslim Ontarians with extremism. Have you had any conversations with Ms. Gamari? Do you plan to remove her from caucus?
Well, the answer is no. I'm not removing her, but she has really been a strong voice for anti-Islamophobia, making sure we have zero tolerance. Folks, this is weighing on me, and I'm going to address it. No matter if it's anti-Semitism or Islamophobia, it has no place here in Ontario. In Ontario, when you live here, there's 120 nationalities, 200 languages being spoke, but it weighs on everyone right now. We want peace here in Ontario. As for what's happening over in the war, hopefully they'll find peace, but that's up to the federal government to work on that end. But I just want peace. Like, Ontario is a peaceful place. And when we see protests, when we see businesses get their windows spray painted and all the other nonsense, it's unacceptable. So I have a great relationship with the Muslim community. I have a great relationship with the Jewish community. And anyone outside of those communities, I can assure you, they want people to live peacefully here in Ontario. As simple as that. And I'm confident that will happen.
Good morning, Premier. This is Nitin Chopra from Provincial TV.
Hi, Nit.
Hi. Premier, do you remember when this carjacking process started in Canada? Because 4 years ago or 5 years ago, we never heard of the carjackings in Canada. It was one of the safest country. So what is the reason this all started? Did the mafia, international mafia, came from outside the countries because these people are the Canadians? If I talk about the value also, 24 cars in a day means 8,700 vehicles in a year, means approximately 37 million in a year times 5 years. The figures are very high. And insurances in this. What is the core reason this all started, Premier?
Well, before I hand it over to Chief Nish, because he understands this better than I do, but what I do understand is they've gone from carjacking and stealing cars in the middle of the night to kicking people's doors in. And that's when you cross the line on any of those issues. And I have to call out the federal government on the Canadian Border Services, their officers down there. So we have, what I understand, we have 50 officers checking everything that comes into the country and one checking everything on the way out. They need to fund more officers to support our Canadian Border Services officers on the front lines, because they do an incredible job. And as for these criminals kicking doors in, just imagine you're lying in bed and you hear your door being kicked in. That's terrifying, actually. And they're going to kick the wrong person's door in one day, and then there'll be a price to pay. But these criminals need to go to jail. And the JPs out there, Justice of the Peace, nothing is more frustrating to myself or police officers than we arrest these bad guys, you slap them on the wrist, and you let them out the next day just to go out and steal other cars. It's your duty as a Justice of the Peace to keep these guys locked up behind bars as long as you possibly can. Bottom line, you need to do it. Sorry, Chief Nish, you want to?
Thank you, Premier. And Nitin, just to speak to the why we are seeing such a trend, it's due to multiple factors that are all environmental. Post-COVID, post the global supply chain for vehicles, the chip shortages, we saw the need for vehicles to be internationally obtained. And so the theft and the ease of theft is so prevalent that the ability to export them is great. We've seen the trends increase. The technology has changed. Auto manufacturers, our industry partners are seeing it. It's hard to stay ahead of the ability for people to steal them. And right now, the risk reward for stealing a vehicle and the effortless ability to get it on a cargo container or get it fraudulently resold here domestically or used for other criminal activity is so great. And within minutes, it's gone. The fact that people are aware that it's that easy and that it is seen at the lowest level as just a theft of a property is part of the issue. It is actually funding right behind drugs and fraud. It is the largest source for organized crime internationally, and we're seeing that given the proximity of us to ports of exit and the fact that 75% of all automobiles sold in Ontario are here in the GTHA. This tends to be the hotbed for it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Follow-up is for Premier. Mayor Patrick Brown rightly said that whenever there is a crunch, there is a resources crunch, you are always there and you see some solution for that. So question is, landlords in Ontario, they are also looking help from you because previously you announced that 40 new adjudicators maybe resolve the landlord-tenant board issues, but there are many issues. Eviction is one of the biggest issues. If someone is not paying rent for more than 2 months, why he is not evicted third month right away? Because if government can't take a responsibility of those professional tenants, why the landlords should take a responsibility of those professional tenants for 16 months, 18 months without getting rents, and how they can pay the mortgages. So landlords are also looking after you, Premier. They are hoping that some solutions, some reforms can be done in LTV. Thank you.
Yeah, you're bang on with that comment. I'll give you an example. The other night, I was out in Kitchener. A gentleman came by and he says, I'm 67 years old. I can't afford to keep my home because the person's in there for over a year not paying rent. Like, this isn't about big corporations owning apartments. These are individuals that buy an investment and then they have a professional scammer go in there knowing they can stay in there. Stay tuned. We're going to make changes, and we're going to make sure not only do we always protect tenants from bad landlords, but we're going to protect the landlords, especially the small mom-and-pop landlords that have their whole life savings in. They're paying a mortgage, and they're professional scammers that go in there, and they don't pay rent. Unacceptable, but we're going to straighten it out. Just stay tuned. We're working on something right now.
Good morning, Premier. It's Charlie Pinkerton of the Trillium here.
Hi, Charlie.
Good morning. Have you been contacted yet by the RCMP in their Greenbelt investigation? And if you have, has that back and forth been like?
No.
Okay, on a different topic, your buddy Bonnie Crombie, who we were talking about, I spoke to her earlier this week about the Lakeview Village MZO. She said it was disrespectful how she learned of it, and she wants it to be revoked. Your housing minister has, of course, been reviewing MZOs. Will this MZO be revoked? And if that decision isn't made yet, is it on the table that it could be?
Well, that's going to be up to the minister, and she feels disrespected. I felt disrespected when I sat down and said we need more housing for new Canadians. She said immigrants don't buy homes and don't buy condos. That's disrespectful to new Canadians. I almost fell off my chair when she said that, and my chief of staff and her chief of staff was in the room when she said it. So I take care of new Canadians. Obviously, she doesn't.
Hey, good morning, Premier. Colin DeMello from
Colin.
Global News. Sorry, I'm a bit cold, so this might...
That's all right. You can come over here. I'll warm you up. Yeah, okay. Oh, boy.
It's Friday. All right, Premier, to Charlie's question about the RCMP investigation, you've said that your government is going to cooperate with the RCMP. I'm wondering, what does cooperation actually look like? Has your government, or will your government, turn over all documents to the RCMP? Has that already happened?
Well, we're working through our office, and we support our RCMP on anything that they're doing. They're good people, and we'll always support all our police services, including the RCMP.
But they will no doubt be looking for a lot of documents. Some of those documents may have come through your cabinet. Are you going to waive cabinet confidentiality so that RCMP can get a full, thorough look at what happened with the Greenbelt?
They have full access. I support them 1,000%.
Thank you, Premier.
Thank you.
This will be the last reporter.
Okay.
Khalid Salamah, Al-Qahira News. Premier, as long as you will not be working closely with the federal to end the rubber stamping of exporting vehicles, stolen vehicles, we are not going to go anywhere. What's your plan to address this?
On stopping the theft of vehicles, we just announced millions of dollars, I think $19 million, and we're going to continue working side by side, our Solicitor General, with the police services, and I have all the confidence in our world and all the police services right across Ontario. We're going to ask the federal government to make sure that they have more border service officers at the outgoing part of the exporting part of the province and in the country. And we're going to throw every resource we can. And on top of that, when we catch these bad guys, they need to be thrown in jail. The key needs to be thrown away, and maybe we'll send a message to the rest of these criminals.
Premier, also people in the community are addressing the hate crimes, which is on the rise right now, and it is really concerning.
Yeah,
and there are lots of factors, and it is not everybody agrees that this is not only the money or the funds can stop this hate thing. Yeah. Also, they highlighted something else, that sometimes, and I'm sorry to say that, some of the police forces, especially in traffic, they are driving young kids into crime, especially if they are stopping them 2 or 3 kilometers over the speed and suspending their licenses and ending their jobs. How can you help young kids? And please also don't forget to address the first part. Thank you.
Well, first of all, I don't direct the police. That's going to be a question for the police, but I've never ever heard a police officer taking someone's license going 2 or 3 kilometers over the speed limit. And as for the hate we see out there, it's unacceptable. We live in Ontario. As I say, it's the most peaceful area anywhere in the world. 120 different nationalities. We need to make sure there's no hate of any sort. No matter what color, creed, race you come from, we need to work together, and we do. We live side by side together. We work together. We shop side by side. But this hate, I've never ever seen it in my entire life, ever here in Ontario. Unacceptable. It needs to stop immediately on all sides.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.